Roll call, please.
Burns.
Yes.
Chartrand.
Here.
King.
Here.
Causer.
Here.
Lachos.
Here.
Legislator Lehman has been excused. Morahan.
Here.
Mosier.
Here.
Osborne.
Here.
Delha.
Here. Please stand and place the flag to the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Reports of the Finance and Rules Committee per Rule 6. Terry, please.
The Finance and Rules Committee has met. They recommend to waive the rules to act upon late resolutions this evening.
Need a motion? Brian, second by Tom. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. I now open the public hearing for comments on the 2020 tentative county budget and local law rescinding local law number 5, 2019 to override the tax levy limit established by General Municipal Law 3-C, otherwise known as the 2% tax cap for the Lewis County 2020 budget. Is anyone here who would like to comment on either one of those topics? Please come forward and state your name for the record.
Hi, my name is Eileen Mathis. I am here as the director of the Krogan Free Library. I'd like to thank you this evening for giving me the opportunity to speak. I'd also like to thank, on behalf of library staff, board members, and friends of the North Country Library System. I would like to thank the Lewis County legislators for their financial support for the libraries in the past. This funding is critical in helping each library serve our patrons. While each of the library's missions differ to reflect their individual communities, the collective goal of all of our libraries is to help make our county a better place to live. Our libraries not only act as general centers for current, reliable information, they also provide resources for informed public opinion, personal recreation, and education. We support civic and cultural activities and programs whose primary goal is the eradication of illiteracy. Our libraries also seek to identify community needs and provide programs or work with other organizations to help meet those needs. The following is a summary of our libraries. 7,687 residents have an active library card. 55,544 people visit a Lewis County library in 2018. The libraries held 619 programs, which 8,071 people attended. 232 of these programs focused on children and caregivers. The libraries offer our patrons the use of 169,802 items. 18,363 of those items were new and added to the collection this year. Patrons have access to materials at all of our 65 libraries in the North Country Library System. This year, 21,696 items were borrowed and loaned throughout our delivery system, which is a free service offered to our patrons. There are 50 public access computers in our libraries which have been used over 10,000 times. Our free Wi-Fi has been used 33,958 times. Several libraries currently have a fiber optic connection to support the increasing usage of wireless devices in the library. The 10 public libraries in our county employ 15 staff. The libraries received $358,930 in public funding last year. They spent $671,778. This money went back into the community in the form of employment, library materials, programs, and other technology services. Our libraries are safe places in our community where all residents and visitors to our community come for information, pleasure reading, internet availability, and is an important location to get cool in the summer or warm in the winter, as well as a central location for social interaction. Libraries are important partners in childhood development and literacy for all. Library staff have watched patrons mature from shy toddlers to inquisitive children ready to enter kindergarten. We have watched our teens grow into productive adults who contribute to our society. Our retired patrons volunteer their knowledge and resources for library programs and fundraisers. In addition to our grateful portion of funding from Lewis County, our citizens have been supportive of our propositions on the school ballot. Each library makes sure its residents receive a maximum return on their shared investment in our library services. The library boards, staff, and patrons appreciate your continued support of Lewis County libraries. Thank you for recognizing your maximum return on our shared investment in libraries. In closing, I would like to ask the Lewis County Board of Legislators and the County Manager to consider increasing funds to the Lewis County libraries for the upcoming fiscal year. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else have any comments at this time? Privilege of the floor. Is there anyone here that would like to make comments on any subject in general? Presentation and communications and notes, Terry, please.
I do have the one notation that I sent legislators, I forwarded to you upon receipt from the New York State Association of Counties to invite you to participate in their upcoming January conference. And if any of you are interested, just let myself or Cassandra know, and we will get you registered and take care of the room reservations as well.
Reports of county officers and departments.
I do not have any this evening.
Reports of standing committees. Brian, would you like to start off with finance and rules?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have two motions to make. First one is to authorize advertising for deputy clerk of the board applications to fill an impending vacancy.
Moved by Brian, second by Randy. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries.
And second, I have authorized County Clerk Linda Hoskins to advertise for applications and refill an impending vacancy of full-time senior keyboard specialist effective December 2nd, 2019.
Moved by Brian, second by Jerry. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries.
And that's all I have as of right now. Thank you.
Thank you. Jerry, General Services Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. What I do have is one motion to authorize Supervisor of Buildings and Grounds, Matt O'Connor, to auction certain surplus county items with an authorized online auction company after verifying that no county departments or local towns and village governments are interested in them. So I'd like to make that a motion.
Moved by Jerry, second by Dick. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
The only thing we'd like, Ryan, is just give everybody a list while we're auctioning. Appreciate it. And then we talked about it in committee and it made to another section. We're taking open top container from 2020 capital projects and moving it to 2020.
2023.
2020.
Right. And what was the price on roughly 80, I believe?
82,000.
83,000. So I'd like to make that a motion.
Moved by Jerry, second by Brian. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries.
That's all I have right now, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you, Jerry. Greg, Health and Human Services.
I don't have anything to bring on tonight. Unless, did you do the Ashley Wade? Right.
Yeah,
A motion for her to read.
December 3rd,
The
right?
clerk, that'll go to December 3rd, correct?
It's gonna go to December 3rd? Okay. That's it then.
And how about the OFA director? Is that a resolution tonight?
Good.
That's a late
December
resolution.
3rd.
Late resolution.
December 3rd.
Oh, that's going to be December 3rd too.
Thank you. Dick as the hospital board rep.
Nothing at this time.
Thank you. County manager report, Ryan.
Nothing at this time.
Patty, county treasurer's report.
Nothing to report, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, so we're, can we leave the public hearing open? Well, okay.
We can just, we'll start with 417, I mean, you can start with 418. Want to go on to resolutions?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Resolution to amend the 2020 tentative budget to transfer and appropriate funds for economic development.
Moved by Ryan, second by Jerry. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 418.
Resolution 418
It's the transfer of the
in your
52,000.
packet. It was your regular packet, the,
Small one,
It's the thin one.
Oh, that one.
the original.
The original one, what we have in front of us, Greg, is all late resolutions.
That's the late, right, that's the late.
418. It's still here.
Yeah. It was sent out last Thursday.
Patty's kind of behind you. 418, Greg. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries.
419 is to amend the 2020 tentative county budget with reference to Economic Development Department to abolish the Economic Development Director position.
Moved by Ryan, second by Jerry. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries.
Then you can go to your late packet, which starts with local law introductory number 8, amending local law number 10 of 2005, providing for the partial exemption of certain real property owned by persons 65 years of age or over. That is the introductory law. Resolution 422 is to fix the date of the public hearing on that proposed local law for December 3rd.
Moved by Brian, second by Randy. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries.
We then have local law introductory number 9, which is amending and replacing local law number 6 of 2017, the County of Lewis Junkyard Law. This is a proposed law. The county attorney will incorporate the committee's proposed changes as of earlier today, and the final draft will be forwarded to legislators and the media as required by law.
Moved by
Number 423, I'm sorry, then 423 is fixing the date of the public hearing for the junkyard law for December 3rd.
Moved by Randy, second by Jerry. Discussion.
Yeah. What are we removing things, Joan, or changing things?
We changed the, if you see the darkened
Yeah.
items, the big thing, Brian, was that we defined the junkyard as being, it's going to be changed to 3 or more junk vehicles, so that if you have 2, you're not in violation, but if you have 3, you would be in violation.
Okay.
And then if you had combinations of junk vehicles and appliances of 4 or more, you're going to be in violation. We identified the exempt properties and made the committee had some changes to that. And I think we changed some language in the enforcement matters, but I'll go over that with you a little bit later.
Okay.
The big change was the 2 to the 3.
2 to 3. Okay.
But that follows state law.
That follows the state law. Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries.
Then have local law introductory number 10, authorizing a municipal lien in favor of the county on fire insurance proceeds in accordance with General Municipal Law 22 and Insurance Law 331. Resolution 424 then is to fix the date of the public hearing for that proposed law for December 3rd.
Moved by Jerry, second by Greg. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries.
Number 425, amending Lewis County online auction of surplus equipment policy to add Huxtable, auction hall, and absolute auction realty as authorized businesses.
Moved by Tom, second by Ron. Discussion. All in,
I have a question here. Since we already have an auction service online.
We actually have 2.
We have 2,
Yeah.
so we're gonna check all 3 to see who gives the better deal, or how's that gonna work?
Well, I would assume we're gonna shop it and then also,
Shop it on all 3 online?
and then turn it around and see how they all do, the new one and stuff.
That is, if you could just choose one of the 3.
Right
Because it
now,
really doesn't specify.
We're just adding this vendor to our list of approved vendors, so we can use any of the 3. This is a local company that's got a new owner that has been working with the towns that has asked if we could give them a shot, so we can't give them a shot unless they're on our approved vendor list, so we might
So
start.
We're gonna use all 3 vendors at the same time?
No.
Or
no,
just
we'll
choose
choose
one?
one.
Just one.
Well, how do you know that's gonna be the best, get us the best price?
Well, that's the thing we don't know, but the thing is, you gotta find out if people are capable of handling it. I mean, that's the way we did with the rest of them.
Couldn't you put it on all 3?
I think that would cause a problem, because what if they
Somebody
had the auction on the same date? That would be a problem.
And what would happen if I bid on all 3 sites for the same piece of equipment?
Yeah.
How do you, and it's all the same price, how do you determine who gets the,
well, let me ask, how do you normally handle it now? You have 2 different vendors, you put it on an RFP and...
Typically, we've done, vehicles have gone to one vendor because they've been better with vehicles, and then office supplies and other things have gone to the other one. We're just adding this one because it's a local guy who asked to give
Try
us
it,
give
see
him a
what
shot.
happens, yeah.
Anyone else? All in favor? Opposed? Carries.
426 is to set a public hearing to obtain public input with reference to community development block grant application for December 3rd.
Moved by Jerry, second by Greg. Discussion. All in favor? Opposed? Carries.
427, authorizing agreement with New York State Division of Criminal Justice Services, District Attorney Aid to Prosecution Grant.
Moved by Jerry, second by, oh, that wasn't Tom?
No,
Okay.
you got the second there.
Discussion?
I'm sorry, who made the motion then?
Jerry, second by Tom.
Tom, thank you.
All in favor? Opposed?
It's one we've been applying for every year.
Carries.
428, authorizing mortgage subordination agreement to County and Judy Roy.
Moved by Jerry, second by Greg. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries.
You have 12 minutes before you can close your public hearing.
Can we can't do these resolutions until we close it?
This is to adopt the budget.
Adopt the local law. So you have to wait until the public hearing is closed. You can take a short recess.
Yeah, we'll take a short recess for 15 minutes so we can close the public hearing and move on with the budget. We're back in session. I'm going to give a last call if there's any comments on the budget at this point. Before I close the public hearing, is there anyone in the audience that would like to address, have any comments on the budget, 2020 budget? If not, I will close the public hearing at this point. And move on to resolution.
Okay, resolution 4, it's 417 in your packet. It is adopting and otherwise treating local law number 8, rescinding local law 5 to override the tax levy, cap limit of 2%.
Moved by Brian, second by Jerry. Discussion. Roll call, please.
Yes. Burns?
Yes.
Chartrand?
Yes.
King?
Yes.
Halsey?
Yes.
LaChose?
Yes.
Lehman? Sorry, he's absent. Morgan?
Yes.
Mosher?
Yes.
Osborne?
Yes.
Dalhall.
Yes.
Next resolution then is to adopt the budget for the fiscal year 2020.
Moved by Jerry, second by Brian. Discussion.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. I'm just as guilty as Brian here. He's taking his name. I want to jump in with him. We talked about before past set salaries like we have in the past. We've not had the situation before. We've kind of lucked out, to put it bluntly, so we got to do something to correct our problem. What I would like to propose is, and it's just for start with discussion and stuff like that to see where we can end up and get this problem solved, not here all night. One of them is, and I apologize to Patty for what I'm going to say, that I think we ought to set that position's salary where Patty's leaving as of December 31st, because we haven't had it set. And the same way with the clerk, as December 31st, whatever that salary is for the clerk. So in other words, if we're doing for one, we do for both. We also monkeyed up and didn't have the discussion because good, bad, or indifferent. Who knew who was going to get elected? So, but looking at the problem and stuff we have, it's not really anybody's fault except us not really doing due diligence and me not being as persistent as I can at times to make sure it gets done. So I propose those two, and we cannot tie the hands of another board. So the only thing we could do is, and I'm not saying want this, but I'm throwing it in the mix, is that there's no raises for 2 years. We're still in control for 2 years. So in other words, to get them in the bottom line, or I've had some people say they wanted to go to the bottom of the thing because it's a new person. So I'm starting at the 2 proposing salaries and we'll go from there.
Jerry, can you just clarify for me, you've got what salary you're actually referring to for each, if you would?
Well, I'm going to have to refer to Patty because I don't have it in front of me. I
It's
think
right
there was,
here. It's right here.
Okay.
and
Well, you're
at the end of
proposing,
this year, not 19, not 20's salary.
so you want what the proposed salary for 2020, Jerry, or the outgoing salary of 2019?
19.
Okay, so
So that'll be the salary for 2020.
I have it here.
And the same way with the clerk. And we're funding the position, not the person. So, and it's up for discussion.
So
Higher than feather
I
mayor.
need some clarification here. The 2020 budget is the outgoing salary, isn't it?
No, it would be
No.
the proposed budget.
Next
for
year's.
2020. That's with a 2% increase over 2019.
Okay.
So 2019 salary for the treasurer's office is 77,822. With the 2% increase, 2020 is 79,378.
So your motion would be to reduce the salary to the outgoing 2019 and then freeze that salary, these two salaries for 2 years after that.
Right, and to correct our problem, then, when they're up for reelection, apply that back, and whoever gets reelected in 4 years, that's the salary they'll be working at.
Brian, did you also have
we
the
can only
county clerk in front of you?
We can only control 2 years. So in other words, we can't tie the hands of, say if the board changed
Right.
completely. But we can hold 2 years' salary.
Right.
And then it can be applied when they're up for reelection to put it back, get those increases that they didn't get in between. So whoever runs then, everybody, whoever wins, we're funding the position, not the person.
So Joan, I'm going to ask you, because this next salary involves me, okay?
Yep.
With my conflict, is it okay for me to read out the salary as long as I don't, or would you?
You're just reading,
This is information.
All right.
but then you'll recuse yourself on this.
All right, so the clerk's salary this year is 61,009. Next year's proposed salary would be 62,229 with a 2% increase. That all exempt employees get every year, along with the union members. So I'd like, one thing I want to say though, Larry, okay?
Okay,
Just-
this is inclusive in his amendment, right? Is that where we're at with that?
Yes.
You should give the other side.
It's amending the tentative budget, so this will be reduced to a
I
resolution,
did.
but I wanted to
Yeah, I
clarify.
already did.
77.
That was the first one, I think. So my conversation doesn't have anything with what Jerry is proposing. I happened to be thinking of this today, and I was reminded of it, actually, I don't know how. But, listen, I mean, in this proposed budget, there's a proposal to give all the legislators here a $1,000 raise, I believe it is. So I'm going out at $8,500, a newly elected official is gonna get $1,000 more than me. So that's not doing anything different than what Jerry's proposing to do here, so.
Who says we're gonna get that 1,000?
Well, I'm just saying, it's proposed in this budget, Greg, so it's just another example. But I'm gonna remove myself from this discussion because it includes my conflict with my brothers, okay? So I'm gonna walk out. When it comes time to vote on the one, if you want me to come back in, I'll vote, but I am not voting on the other, so, okay? So because this discussion is involving the new county clerk, and I have a conflict.
Well, regardless of who it is, what we do for one, we should
Oh, I
do
understand
exactly
that,
the same for the other.
But if there's going to be more discussion on this, I'm going to remove myself, so, okay?
It's not much, but hopefully something we can move forward on.
So, one more time for clarity. We're going to reduce the salary to the 2019 number, and then we're going to withhold the 2% increases for 2 years for both salaries.
Yep.
County clerk and county treasurer.
And then they can be applied back when they're up for re-election, what they didn't get. Set the salaries every time they run, not an ongoing salary.
Mr. Chairman, can I just clarify something
Sure.
that might help? These are elected officials. Once you set their salary, that's set for the term of their election, unless the board moves otherwise, which is what has been done in the past, as Brian was saying, that a local law and a resolution would be made to do the 2% increase if that's what the rest of the employees were doing. So Jerry, if everybody abides by your proposal, those are the amounts set. You don't have to talk about whether or not they should get any more or less in 2 years, because it's really for 4 years, unless the board takes any action any other
But
time.
we have that right now.
You have what?
We have the local law allowing that. That's been happening.
Yes, you've been implementing.
Right.
Right.
So essentially, it's just going to be at the end when whoever's running's running, and whoever gets elected is going to get that salary. So we're solving our problems for the future too, hopefully. If that makes sense.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I'm just confused, because I'm not real familiar with the pay grades and all that stuff here. What's the idea of eliminating the 2 regular increases?
Well, I think I've kind of heard both ways, and that's up for discussion. I mean, if that's...
I'm not saying you're wrong, I just don't understand it.
It was to bring them more in line. I mean, generally what's happened, good, bad, or indifferent, and this is kind of a fluke. The person running for office is potentially close or even higher that won the office than what it would have come in at. You make like that, so the thing is, somewheres along the line, we got to balance it. It may not be perfect. I mean, and there's still discussion. I'm just starting a discussion here, see if everybody can support it. If they can't, we'll do other stuff. It's not cutting it back to the bottom either. So in other words,
Well, let me ask this question, maybe this will help me. Let's say that this disagreement, we'll call it for the moment, didn't exist. Would these people that are just elected get these other increases normally?
they would if we passed the rules and regulations for it, but you know.
I'm sorry, but
We passed an amendment where we've been allowing that to happen.
when did that happen? A long time ago, is that something?
It's been something we've been doing. I mean, really, if we hadn't passed that, it's every time somebody's up for election, you set the salary, and what I would visualize, what they missed there in that 4 years would be compensated in the salary when they're up for re-election.
So there's no preordained increase necessarily would be given. This is just something in addition to. Is that what you're saying? I completely.
Well, what I propose, no raises.
Yeah.
So in other words, what they win for, they would work 4 years at that salary.
Okay. All right.
Then when they're up
That's
for
easy.
re-election,
But if they normally they would get an increase every year. Well,
yeah.
Well, every year we pass a
Right.
resolution
But-
allowing certain elected officials to get the normal 2% raise that everybody else gets.
And
That's
we've
commonly done.
And we've always, except for this situation, rolled the position back right or wrong. So in other words, when Patty come in, Patty was a lot less than who went out. And the sheriff come in less than what the last one went out. And that has been what we've been doing, right or wrong, for, well, put it bluntly, 14 years. And we've come in this situation to where, okay, we got this, we got an employee that's been elected, he's making X amount, and, you know, because we never sat down and had a discussion so everybody knew on the front page. In other words, this is the salary, whether you're running or not.
The issue here is that normally when we have an election cycle, we have a discussion before the election cycle and determine what the salary is going to be for that elected position,
Regardless of who wins.
regardless of who wins. We did not have that discussion this year, so the two people that ran for these offices are expecting the salary that's in the budget. And what we're talking about here now is reducing that salary.
Not for the town clerk.
Would you say,
Only those two positions.
The clerk would go up a little bit or
Who,
stay?
the county clerk? Yeah,
Under your proposal.
Yeah.
But no, you're incorrect in stating that, Larry. You're only stating that for the treasurer's position. The clerk's position goes back down to the bottom of the grade level.
As-
And that's how it is in the budget.
well, the way it was.
That's how it's written in the budget, and there's no way of explaining
But
any
we-
different,
But
Jerry.
we never voted on that. It was just the post. The thing is, we're not treating everybody the same regardless. So what I'm trying to do
What
is
you
treat
do is
everybody
put
the
everybody
same.
at the bottom,
Well, if you
it's
want to
right,
put bottom,
it's
that's
right
fine.
there, it's pretty clear that it's on our website, it's on the county website, what our salary grades are. That's not, it's public knowledge.
Okay, hold on a second. What is the county clerk in the budget for?
53,000,
Down almost 8,000.
right there, 53,060.
Because that was cut back.
That was exactly the bottom. And then what you're proposing is $61,009.
The 60, right, the 61.
That's what you're proposing, but in the budget,
But the
because
60,
Larry's bringing it up as, well, you were bringing it
You're
up.
correct. I'm wrong.
Exactly, because
If we-
the other position is something else.
well, essentially, we cut one and didn't cut the other. Right or wrong. And it was
But
roughly
it doesn't
10.
really matter because
And it's what
on the
we use.
website or any public, you can come and look here at the salary grades. And you can say, there's what the bottom is, and you can put that treasurer position at the bottom of the grade. Why should that position get funded higher in the budget, in this budget, than the clerk's position? Why was that? What's the answer to that question? Got an answer to that one?
What's the question?
Why was the treasurer's position in the budget at 79,000, which is what the outgoing treasurer was making, yet the county clerk who's coming in is exactly at the bottom of the grade?
Well, for the county clerk, we knew that for sure we would have a non-county employee that would be the new clerk. And
We only have a
for,
half-time employee, if you really want to look at it, really, because the IDA pays the other half, so it's only half.
right, but for the clerk position, it was going to be a brand new person that never worked for the county, no matter what. For the treasurer's position, we had someone
Did you have
who,
somebody that was a treasurer working some?
we have an existing county employee. I put it in the budget this way because I wasn't willing to cut the salary of an existing employee. I wasn't willing to do that. And I gave you a ceiling that you guys can work with. If you want, you can do what you want with it from here.
I'm just
We got
saying.
the OFA in a little bit. We just didn't.
Yeah.
So we gotta be fair here.
I'm just telling you the way it is. It's very clear in the budget that it was totally misconstrued.
Okay, so, Dick, sorry.
I think, Jerry, you said fund the position, not the individual at one time when you were talking about this. When I do that, I look at past experience, I look at education, I look at years at similar positions. I will use that judgment when I make my vote tonight. Everybody else, I would suggest, could use about the same thing. Additionally, it's one more thing. If the position was underfunded to begin with, what you're proposing just exacerbates that. And I've said for years, I believe that the county treasurer should have got more money than they were getting. So I also believe that position was underfunded. So your position just further exacerbates that underfunding. Thank you.
well, I understand where you're coming from, but it's an unknown too, so we're taking,
I just raised it.
we're taking
That's
again.
all, Jerry, that's all.
Good, bad, or indifferent, we voted for this in the past, I'm not saying it's right or perfect.
Yeah.
And you were one that used to vote with us too before that, so
Be good.
whatever the majority wants to do, it's just here for discussion.
Okay, I'm going to call the question, Jerry's question. So, to change the salaries of the two positions in question, I guess I'll say. So,
Well, we never did get a second to Jerry's
okay,
motion.
do we have a second on that? Andrew, a second. So let's do a roll call. Jerry, please.
Wait a minute, run first. I just want to make sure I know what the hell it was.
We're voting to reduce the treasurer's salary.
Yes or no to reduce the salary? That's the question?
To the amount he stated
To
on.
the 2019.
Are you in favor of changing the salary back to 2019?
But are we doing it for the clerk as well?
That's what he said.
The clerk?
He incorporated both. Are we incorporating both, or are we treating them separately?
Both.
We do
We're doing both.
More Trump than you.
Who's asking that?
How do you vote? Burns?
Well, Dick convinced me, frankly. I'm going to say leave it like it is. Just, that convinced me.
So I need a yes or a no, I'm sorry.
Yes, to leave it like it is, as proposed.
So then his vote is to,
I'm sorry?
Then it'd be a no, if you're gonna vote that way, it'd be a no.
I guess I'm voting no then. Thank you.
thank you.
Jeez.
Chartrand,
No.
King,
Yes.
Calder,
Yes.
Lashos,
Yes.
and is absent. Marhan,
Yes.
Mosier is not here. Osborne,
Yes.
Dahlhoff.
No.
So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a 5-5 vote, so it is defeated.
How can it be 5 to 5?
Well, it's 5-4 and...
Two absent.
We didn't bring
Yeah.
Ryan.
5-4
Okay, the absence is not a yes, so it is defeated. You need 6 votes, and you do not have 6 votes.
Okay, we need Brian back for the overall vote, right?
Withdraw the way the motion is written, because both positions are together.
So I mean,
And now we're going to vote on the original resolution to accept the budget.
So are we gonna put the other one up?
What other one?
It was my motion. You're leaving one at the budgeted salary, and then you're turning around and sticking this one for $53,000, was what you guys just did. You did.
You understand what he's saying?
That's what you said, Jerry.
Accept it from the budget.
No, now you're voting on the budget as is, so.
Now you're screwing the clerk.
So yeah. I mean,
Unless somebody else makes a motion.
I'll make a motion to raise
Well,
Jake's
you
back
made a
where it was.
motion.
If we can do it for one, we can do it for the other.
I'd second that motion.
Okay. Motion to raise the clerk's salary to 2019.
We moved it to 20.
So,
You just moved that, when you voted that down, you put it at the 20 thing for the other position.
Please explain that to me.
You defeated the motion to take it to 2019, and then you turned around and we go back to the original because it was defeated, which is what is going to be paid for 2020.
What's in the budget?
53,000 for the one and 70, whatever it is.
And on the other one, it was with this year's raise. So I'm proposing we go to the original in this one, bring it up.
To roughly 61.
61, right.
Okay, so Jerry has a
do we
motion.
have an exact amount amount that you want to put in there?
$61,009.
The other one should be 77,822.
That's not the motion now before you.
I'll vote no.
Okay, so second by Andrea, right? Okay,
To Jerry's.
yes. Discussion.
I need to know what we're discussing, I'm sorry.
We're discussing, now we're on the county clerk's salary to bring it up to the 2020 level.
County clerk's position at 2020 will be $62,229.
That's what
That's what we'll bump to.
otherwise it would be 53,000.
No, your previous motion was 6109.
Right, his previous motion was to set the salaries at the 2019.
Exactly.
Okay,
So that's-
you guys defeated that.
that.
You guys defeated that, so by defeating that, you're gonna vote, you would vote on what's proposed budget, which proposed budget is treasurer's office is at 79,378, clerk's office is at 53,000. What Jerry was trying to do is make it fair across the board, and you guys voted that down.
No, we didn't.
Yes, you did.
It didn't pass.
That
Well,
was
you're
already
right.
done.
He proposed to make it even, right. So you voted down his motion to change the budget.
With your vote of no,
Yes.
it went down. If you had voted yes, it would have gone up. And Eric would be making that, 77,822, and Jake would make 61,009.
So if you
Now
want
we're
to,
voting on Jake at 61,009.
No, it has to be 62.
Okay, 62 is okay with you too?
Okay. Any other discussion?
Is it 62,229 or 61,009? I need any clarification for the record.
What should it be if we didn't monkey with it, Brian? Do you know?
I gave Dick my sheet, actually.
62,229.
in the proposed budget?
No,
60.
if Linda's in there.
If the incumbent were still in the seat next year, it would be 62,229.
Okay, that's what I'd like to make it for.
Okay. You have that, Jerry?
So I want this guy to get the bill.
Oh, yes.
All in favor?
I
abstain.
guess,
Well, it has to be roll call, doesn't it?
The other one did.
We'll do a roll call.
The other one did.
Roll call, Jerry, please.
Question, are we just doing clerk, or are we doing both of these?
Just clerk right now.
Just clerk, okay.
Says it remains the same in the budget, and then when we pass the budget, they'll go on.
That's right.
Okay, Burns,
hey, I gotta ask, I just wanna make sure I know what I'm voting on.
I'm voting to set the salary for the county clerk in
I want the county
2020.
clerk to get the budget figure,
The budget
Budget
figure.
whatever that was.
The budget figure is 53,000.
63.
That's not right?
No.
Well, are you voting yes for the change, or are you voting no for the change, Ron?
I don't have a clue, Frank.
Okay, right now, and I'm abstaining from this, but I'm listening to all this, it's not that, I got it figured out. The proposal is that you're gonna set the treasurer's that you propose, the proposal is to change the salary grade, or schedule for the treasurer, and leave that at the 2020, 79,
What's
whatever
the
it
salary
is.
now, the treasurer's
The
salary?
treasurer's salary as of today is,
No,
$61,009.
we're not talking about the treasurer, we're talking
I
about the
beg your
clerk.
pardon, I'm clerk, I'm sorry, that's my fault.
okay, the clerk right now is at 60,
1,009.
No, in the budget, the clerk is
53.
53 in the budget, that's what your proposed
We want to
budget
raise
is.
it up.
They're proposing to raise that up to the outgoing salary.
Take the 61,009 and put the 2% that everybody's getting, and that'll be the right figure for 2020
I thought
budget.
it was 61,009, that's what it is now.
That's what it is now.
2,000.
All right, I'm voting for the 62, whatever.
299?
Yeah.
I think that's a yes.
I think
Okay.
yeah.
Your vote is yes then, Ron?
I think so.
Chartrand?
Yes.
King?
Yes.
Coulter?
I did papers just
Yes.
34 years.
Lachos?
I never had this problem.
Lehman is
myself.
absent. Morahan?
Yes.
Mosher is
I abstain.
abstained. Osborne?
Yes.
Dalhoff?
Yes.
Thank you, fellow legislators.
What's the
Are
treasurer?
you calculating that, Patty?
Yep, 62,220.
That stays right
Well, that's,
So before we vote on this overall budget, I would like to commend Patty for an excellent job other than the discussion that we've had for not only this year, but the past 8 years. So thank you, Patty. Dick?
You get ready to vote on the budget?
Yes.
Because I'd like to comment on it, but I got another.
Okay, go ahead.
I remember,
Let's call the, let's do the resolution first, and then we could do other discussion.
Okay, this then is to adopt the budget for fiscal year 2020. Burns?
Wait, we gotta move it in second.
You did that long ago.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry, Terry, you
you're
say
going to
it
vote
again.
before you
That's
make
okay.
any discussion on the budget.
Because you got another amendment?
So now we're at discussion. I didn't think that I thought we got on the budget amendments. So, go ahead, Dick.
Yeah, I remember when we were first talking about this budget, about a pay raise for us legislators. But I didn't believe that was, I didn't think the discussion at that time was very favorable. Now I believe it's in this budget. So I'd like to propose we change that to 0. I don't think we need to give us $1,000 apiece. Okay?
So your amendment is to roll the legislator
Legislative salary to what it is.
back
now.
to 8,500.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we have a second? Greg, discussion.
Well, I don't know, some of the people ran on
Is the
what that
chairman,
salary was in the budget.
is the chairman to remain as 10,000 or 11,000 or back to 10?
Everybody would do it.
Everybody, okay. I just wanted to clarify.
Just to roll back the increase would be the way you would,
Right.
Yeah.
the motion.
8,500 for us, 10 for them.
Any other discussion? Do we need a roll call or would you like a roll call, Greg?
I think
Roll call, Timmy, please.
This is for the
This is the
legislature
past
now?
Yeah.
No,
No.
just for the,
Just for this one, we're still doing the budget, because there's more stuff to cover.
Still don't know what the hell I'm voting.
You want $1,000 more next year, you want to stay with what you're at?
I think I'm going to take Social Security.
Okay, so there you go.
Okay, the vote then. Burns? You're voting to reduce from the tentative budget, it's
Yes,
9,500.
Yeah, I can't hear her when you're
Go
talking.
ahead.
Say again.
The legislators are in here for $9,500 apiece for 2020 salary. The chairman is in for 11,000. This motion moves it back to 8,500 for legislators and 10,000 for the chair.
I'll vote to move her back.
Okay, so you're a yes.
If that's yes, that's what I am.
Chartrand?
Yes.
King?
Yeah.
Coulter?
yes.
Lachos?
Yes.
And is absent. Morahan?
Yes.
Mosher?
Yes.
Osborne?
No.
Dalhoff?
No.
You calculating, Patty?
For the 8,500, I mean, it's 1,000, so it's $10,000.
That was easy figuring, wasn't it, Patty?
Yeah.
Okay, so is there any other discussion?
Yes.
Okay, roll call. We're voting on the,
You're voting to adopt the budget now with all of the amendments that you've made.
okay, roll call, please.
Burns,
So this is on the
to adopt the budget with the amendments that have been approved.
yes.
Chartran,
Yes.
King,
Yes.
Coulter,
Yes.
LaChance,
Yes.
is absent, Monahan,
Yes.
Mosier,
Yes.
Osborne,
No.
Dahlhoff.
Yes.
Budget is adopted. Now, to set the levy, and I would depend on our county treasurer to give me that number.
Now I can't afford to.
17,033,788.
Thank you. Right, the assessing and levying the amount tax called for under the 2020 budget is $17,033,788. Motion.
Okay, need a motion, Brian, second by Randy. Discussion. Roll call.
Roll call. Burns,
Yes.
Chartran,
Yes.
King,
Yes.
Coulter,
Yes.
LaChance,
Yes.
Monahan,
Yes.
Mosier,
Yes.
Osborne,
Yes.
Dahlhoff.
Yes.
That concludes resolutions.
All right, do we have any other business?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn, second by Dick, Brian, and Dick. All in favor?
Yours.
We're adjourned.